Okay, the race here today is coming from Spa, and we have a 4.35 mile, 21 turn racetrack. It's quite long track. We're coming out of the front straight here, or the little starting straight, heading into turn one. So the important thing here is to brake right about here, hard in a straight line, and then sort of fade off the brake as you roll through that turn and get on the throttle as early as possible, because we have a very long run here. I don't know the distance, but it's probably over a mile. Um, Flat out through here is one of the most famous turns in racing, La Source. Come down here, turn back over this curb on the inside. Just stay on the curbs, coming back over the top there, trying to keep the tires on the red and white at least, so you don't get off track. Drafting is very important. This is an uphill section, so it's long, it's straight, you're flat out, and it's uphill. So the draft plays a huge effect. You may get a run on a car in front of you, but unless it's a really big run, once you pull out, you'll probably start to stall out and go the same speed as the car you're trying to pass.
Right.
So it's a technical,
Hello.
slightly technical course, very, very classic Formula One track. Uh, Maintaining momentum is the biggest thing of using all the track at the apex and on the entrance, the apex, and out on track out from the turn to carry the most speed, because basically for this car, every section of track that's somewhat straight is quite long. So draft is really important to get a quick lap time. So this is one of my qualifying laps, and I'm trying to get close enough to the car in front of me to get a draft. You have this section through here, which is, you just want to be able to keep the tires on that red and white. If you get like the inside tires over this red and white, like right almost did there, or another meter would have gone over there, that would have been off track, and this lap would not have counted for qualifying. This turn you can take flat out, but you cannot go side by side flat out. You can see we're using all the track just by ourselves. And then this is the second heavy braking zone. Car in front of us was about to turn down and then didn't. I think kind of saw us there, and that's the end of the lap. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the race. We qualified 44th out of 58. Had a bit of an issue on our fastest qualifying lap, unfortunately. That cost us probably 10 to 15 spots at the start, but oh well. It is what it is. Jump through these laps to get to the race. Qualifying is pretty long, but it's hard to get a good lap where you have the... Oops, I'm hitting the wrong button. No wonder it's taking forever to get there.
All clear. Push now. Your exit is clear. Watch the white line. Checkered flags out. P42.
42. There we go. Okay, rolling start. Here we go.
You've got 1 gallon left. Carter has just retired.
There's a spin here in front of us. At the start, before we can get to the line is right here. Just trying to keep it clean. First lap, especially. Lots of cars, lots of traffic.
The car behind is catching. The gap's now 1.4.
Try to find a decent camera angle, decently wide enough here. So this is a very long lap, 4.35 miles for a lap. So fuel saving is not really a thing so much. You're not going to save a lap worth of fuel, but you could draft and save a little bit, so you have to take a little bit less during your stop, even though you'll probably stop on pretty much the same lap that you would have if you didn't try to save any fuel or draft. Looks like we got Kurt Nunez behind us. Looked like he had a little bit of a problem, and a few cars got by, or he let a few cars by, but then he seemed to get up to speed once we got by him. So now we're 2x2. Let's go on board for a second here. Heading into turn one, braking hard. So now we're headed down towards La Source. You can sort of kind of make it through here too wide, but you got to be really careful. I got an off track right there for that. The right side tires didn't stay on the painted or the black part of the surface. Watching the mirrors through here as we're coming up this hill. See if anybody's going to make a dive. Looks like the green car is going to make a dive up the inside. We get into braking right here.
All right, Jay. Ignore that
So
fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits.
he's still there. We got two green cars, so it's a little bit confusing in the mirror. Can be if you lose track. Teammates. He's still to my outside, so I didn't have complete use of the track there. Now I got one right on my tail and one kind of on the inside, that blue and yellow car coming up in the left side mirror. Using all the track. Got to adjust the braking marker a little bit here because we don't have full use of the track on entrance here. So this is how fighting for position slows everybody down, because you're not getting full width of the track, so you can't take the widest line, the most open line through the turn. You got to take a little bit tighter line on entry or exit or both. So if you and the car beside you are both doing that, the car behind you guys that it's single file gets to use the full width of the track and gets the draft off of both of you. So you guys are punching a bigger hole in the air, and they get to choose better lines. Again, here I had to lift off through there because we weren't single file. The 377 there was able to take advantage, optimistic there, and then hops it on the inside curb. He caught the inside curb and jumped it and landed right into his teammate. But luckily, teammate was able to keep it straight. But that helped us. Instead of losing two positions, we only lost one. So he's taking quite a different line through that turn there. Almost gets an off track on exit.
I think you're faster. Maybe we should turn around the other way around to do this.
I don't know if you heard that over the radio. Somebody was saying
Man, you need to push me, otherwise we're not gonna catch.
They're trying to work out. Two other cars somewhere in the race are trying to work out working together. So here I'm trying to bump draft a bit, which doesn't work super great in these cars, but I figure it's better than trying to challenge them. And still here, car came up on the inside in the mirrors. I think that's Reese behind us. This turn is tricky. I struggle with that one there, the right-hander we just went through. It's very awkward. So Reese's two are outside through there. He's able to clear that. So really I just want to sit here, get up on his gearbox, and just draft off of him. Reese is definitely faster than I am. But with the draft off of him, I might be able to keep his pace. So that's the challenge, is stay with him. Don't lose the draft. Which basically means no mistakes and don't challenge him for position. So he's a little bit defensive here, and I don't really want him to be defensive. Go ahead and take the fastest line. But he doesn't know I'm not going to challenge, and I kind of don't want to telegraph it too much. So we are working lap 4 now. We're in 29th. We started 42nd. So that melee coming to the start-finish line, and then a couple cars having some issues really helped us out. We got a pretty good run coming here.
Okay, Jay, you're reeling. Right, in. The gap is 0.3.
So this should be a signal of, hey, I'm not trying to pass you. I'm trying to just hang on your bumper and push you up to the car in front of us. And I think that helped. I feel like he's closer now to the car in front, juiced. Reese locked up a little bit on entry there. So little things to learn. I noticed through that last left-hander, Reese used a little bit of outside curb on before entry there. We're kind of sliding the front end through here, and I don't think he did. So we need to back up our braking a little bit there. He's braking a little bit later going into this turn.
There's an incident in Stavlo. Come on, nail this fucker.
We got lap traffic in front of us, or a car that's got some damage or something.
There's an incident in the chicane. It looks like Castro.
Not now.
We're coming up on the chicane, so there's an incident in the chicane. We just got heard over the radio. Juice really cut down there, right in front of us. I didn't expect that. I probably should have, but let's look at that again. So Juice is way on the outside here in this green car out here. Reese is directly in front of us. And then I think this is Favini, it looks like, here on the left. So as we come in here, Juice takes a really odd line from all the way outside to all the way inside, ducking in right behind Reese as he comes through and just completely chopping down where we are. We're definitely not along upside him, but I don't know. It seemed like an odd move to me. It's something I didn't expect. So when we come through here, I really got to be super careful and back out of it. This just seemed like a really kind of aggressive, defensive, last minute move to me. So if we look at this from, what's a better angle on this? So look at this in slow-mo from this angle. So you can see 377 is way outside and then cuts way down on the inside. So that surprised me. I had to back out of it and then end up losing a spot that we should have been able to easily get on Favini here. We should have been able to get, I think, Favini and probably Juice through there. But with that very aggressive, very late defense, wasn't able to make that happen. That's an easy place to spin out in that chicane.
Rice ahead is now 4:24.4 seconds.
Nope, there's a little bit of wrecking going on back there.
What are you doing?
There's some bumping through turn 1.
Step, bro. Thanks, friend.
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 4.4.
So here we go, drafting.
Lecombe. It looks like it's Bradshaw.
Nicely done, guys.
I sense some sarcasm in those comments, if you can hear that. Trying to get by Favini here.
No worries, Emma.
I feel like we're faster than Favini, and we should be able to hang with Reese and Juice in front of us. But we've lost a little bit of time, a little bit of distance there to those cars in front. We need to close back up quickly.
Wow, there goes Steve.
Trying to change my line a little bit going through here. Optimizing for exit onto this little straight.
Seconds.
Meaning late apexing the previous turn. Starting to lose the draft to the guys in front of me a bit here. There's 3 of them in a line and they were kind of pulling away. If they stay side by side, that helps me catch back up. If they stay nose to tail, that helps them pull away. Juice goes into the pits. We are just starting lap 6 now. We're running in 26th spot. So pit stops have started now. Oh, almost lost it on exit there. Rear end stepped out. Try to find a better camera view here. we'll stick with this one. So here, we're doing 125. With
The gap ahead is now 0.8. There's an incident in Bruxelles.
relatively little draft. Let's see if we can get a comparison of if we get a lap with a strong draft to see what the difference is. So we had a slight draft and we got 125.
Maybe we can draft up, Bob.
I'm sure you heard that comment. People talking about working together. Basically communicating that they're not going to try to make that pass and they're going to try to stay in line through the straight sections to work together. And since pit stops have started, now is the time that you really want to have your fastest laps. Before you go into the pit, after you go in the pit, and while other people are pitting. So strategically, this is the time to be your fastest, or the time not to make any mistakes. Mistakes will cost you the most right here, because any little time lost means cars get by you through the sequence of pit stops, means positions lost on the track, which could be quite hard to make up. Reese went in the pits. Rear and also stepped out a little bit on us on entry to the, or on exit of the first turn of the chicane, I should say. Turns like this, you can be smooth on the power coming out of here, not to spin the tires on the way out. 2 cars up, we have Aero Nam. He's perennial kind of leader, always fighting for the win. So that's a good indication of when the leader started pitting. We are on lap 7 right now.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 1.7.
1.7 seconds to Favini in front of us. We got nobody behind us, it looks like.
Okay, Jay, there'll be chances here. Let's make sure we can take them. That's 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes.
Using a lot of curb there. Late Apex in that one a little bit better.
There's an incident in the chicane.
We're coming up on the chicane. Over the radio, we just heard the incident in the chicane. This is the chicane right here. The beeping here is cars going into the pit lane. So right now I was thinking about when do I want to pit? And then some tracks, you want to pit right when there's cars in front of you because maybe you can get by them on the pit stop and strategy. Here with a draft, you kind of want to have cars in front of you to help you with the draft.
I'm pitting this lap, boss.
There's some guys back there, if you heard that,
Let me.
communicating about when they want to pit, trying to pit together to both to avoid a wreck on entry to the pits, somebody rear-ending you on the way in, not knowing you're going to pull in the pits, and also to coordinate in case you guys want to pit at the same time, and then that way you'll come back out at the same time,
2.8.
and you have a drafting partner on the way out. You can hear the front tire squealing through here. Definitely have not figured out that turn. Had to catch it a little bit on entry there.
The guy behind's reeling you in. The gap's now 3.5. Quicker than you entering the chicane.
Yeah, for some reason, the previous lap, I had left a lot on the table going into the chicane. I got my braking done really early for some reason, even though I felt like I braked right about the same mark. I don't know if it was just more efficient braking or the line had more grip or what the deal was, but I must have braked too early because I lost time going in there. And that's what I was hearing over the radio was the car behind me was closing in, and where they were closing in the most was at the chicane. So this chicane here. So I brake right about the dirt, the part of that dirt. There's a lot of dirt on the road, but so this time I try to dive it in a little deeper.
Pitting in, Samuel.
Incident in La Source. We think it might be Vogel.
So we're working lap 9 now. So what I'm hoping to do is get somebody coming out of the pits right here that's going to get the timing just right so I can get a draft on them and work together with them going down through here.
You should be executing right now.
So let's see the speed here. We're at 122, 123 before we get into the braking zone.
Okay,
So that's
Jay,
basically no
15 minutes
draft.
left. That's 15 minutes. Stay on it. This
Did
isn't over yet.
123. Slight draft, 125. So I would think good draft was probably 128 or so going up that hill. And that's not just momentary speed, that's carrying it a long ways, extra 2-3 miles an hour or more for like maybe half a mile. So let's go ahead and skip ahead here. We're on lap 9 right now. This is the beginning of lap 10.
The car behind's pitting.
So the car behind that pitted was the yellow and green car. Let's go ahead and skip a lap ahead. Right now we're in 17th because other people are pitting and we haven't pitted yet.
Gauge the limiter. Come on, head up. Keep your focus further down the track. 10 minutes to go. That's
So
10
we
minutes
pitted
left.
here. We're coming out of the pits at this moment. We pitted from about 15th.
Your exit's clear. Don't cross the white line.
We're rolling out 29th here. So we lost, there we go. That was the green car that pitted one lap before us, 77 car. So he was able to make up that position through the sequence of pit stops. Let's see what kind of speed we get up to here.
Sorry, mate.
We got a bit more draft than the previous couple laps. 125, 126.
The gap behind is now 0.5.
So the draft is significant, especially in those long sections and a long uphill, even more so. So we're on lap 11 right now.
Go on back.
So I think it's possible for cars to pit one lap later than we did if they saved a bit of fuel.
Yep.
We couldn't have made it one more lap,
The
but
leader's pitting now.
I think the leader pitting right there, I think, is
Pitting
But-
at time back.
the maximum that can be done, basically. Meaning, once we kind of cross the start-finish line or um, pass pit exit, that should be realistically where we fall in the running order. Accidentally shifted twice there. Brain fart. Shifted into 6 for a second. This is also slightly uphill.
Sorry, Jason.
Trying really hard here. Really want to get out of the back of that 77 car in front of us. So right now we're in 27th, and I believe everybody has pitted. We're working lap 12. Get up to 123 miles an
There's
hour.
an incident in WWL. The gap in front is now 1.7 seconds.
Let's see, maybe we switch the cameras around. I'm not sure there's anybody close behind us at all. No, looks like there's nobody behind us for quite a ways.
Incident in turn 13.
Oh, we got 22 car here. This is Uyghur. He had some kind of issue. That was the incident that came over the radio, crew chief in turn 13. He must have ran wide or slid off or
Okay,
had
Jay, 5 minutes to go. 5
some kind of
minutes
problem.
left. Hit all your apexes. Wait for the chances to come, mate.
Get the call 5 minutes to go over the radio. Oh, Uyghur winning the pits.
behind is reeling you in. The gap is now 8.0 seconds.
We're up to 26 now. The cars in front of us are battling side by side. It's good to see. Hopefully they keep doing that so we can catch up. You can see we're just keeping the inside tires on the paint as we come through the source there.
The gap ahead is now 3.3 seconds.
And we lost it. All right, let's look at what happened there. This was, I was trying something a little bit different on purpose here, which is in retrospect not a good move. Let's see how this happens. So, slow-mo here. So I wanted to set up a better entry into the right-hander after this, so I tried to stay a little bit farther left, because I noticed other people were doing it. And so when I went out here, somehow how I caught that paint right there, this is farther left than I had been all day, and I don't know, the paint, or possibly just switching from left to right, maybe I turned a little bit too quickly back to the right, but I had been entering this turn from more towards the middle, towards the right-hander, but I was thinking I should enter it more from farther left, and so I was making a conscious effort to be farther left before entering this right-hander, and it caught me out. Maybe I braked on the paint, but it was the one lap I tried that, and it bit me. I hadn't been that far left all day. So, and I had a gap to the cars behind me. I had a bit of a gap to the cars in front of me. I was going to try to close that gap down. But now I got these cars behind me much closer. And Uyghur had gone into the pits right before us, maybe only for a penalty or something, because he's now right behind us in that 22 car. So let's say it cost him 20 seconds to slow down in the pits, and he was 2 seconds in front of us, and now he's a second behind us. So therefore, maybe we lost about 16 seconds with that spin, something like that. By the time you factor in spinning, coming to a stop, getting it back going again, and getting back up to speed on a fast section of the track.
Don't be pressured. Keep your exit speeds up. They're quicker than us entering turn 13. That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
So I don't know if you heard that over the radio, keep your exit speeds up. So what they mean is you can sacrifice a little bit on entry to make sure you get out of the turn good. And you'll see the pros do this, like Alonso and other people. They're like, oh, that car behind him is faster. It's going to catch him and pass him. And they keep catching him in the wrong spots. They keep catching him on the entrance to the turn, but then you get out of the turn good. And so that's the idea of it's okay to compromise your entry a little bit, get a great exit. If you get a great exit, it's hard for the car behind you to pass. Because their advantage closing in on entry, they have to give up and braking more to wait for you. And then you get a great exit, so they have to do it all over again. Now the cars behind me are having to battle with each other a little bit. That red and white car is trying to capitalize. So I go ahead and leave the inside open. knowing I'm going to have the inside for this next turn here, trying to make that work, using all the track. And he dives it up through here, which is a good move. I'm not sure what their downhill right-hander was called, but that's the one where you feel like we're struggling. Very different lines there. It looks like I missed my apex by quite a bit. I'm taking a bit of defensive line into the next couple of turns here.
There's an incident in the chicane.
Oh, and we loop it. Let's look at that from in-car. So this one, not to make excuses, but just what I saw from inside the car. Watch the angle of the car in front of me compared to our angle. So I see him lose it, and I turned a little bit tighter. If you watch his front tires, I want to straight line this more, but then I see him start to lose it. I want to give him more space, and I lost it myself. So my mistake. I can't really see in the shop. I can. Or chase maybe. So we're approaching this turn here. Let's see where we are towards the apex. He's definitely wide, missing the apex. We're headed more towards the apex. And we just both kind of lose it at the same time. He definitely recovers. And we don't. So now we got to try to spin this thing around and lose a few spots here. So that was unfortunate. So now we got one lap to go, and we are in 31st. So we got Jeff Cantor in front of us. Let's see what kind of top speed we can hit here with the draft, because we're going to have a better run. So we pull out. .124. We lost the draft. We pulled out in front of him. Now we're cutting through the air. Switch cameras here.
Sorry, aircon turn with the forward.
Just trying to keep it super
Okay,
clean.
Jay, you need to pass this twat. You're losing too much time.
Hit all our apexes. Oh, that comment was out of place. You can see Jeff's trying hard behind us, but
Yeah, you too, Jeff. And too bad for you. Yuxuan, I'm sorry if I pronounced it badly, but man, that was close in the end. Congrats to all the other podium contenders today, and just for finishing the third, everybody.
so Jeff gets by us here.
There's an incident in La Source.
All right, so we pulled it off around the outside there. Let's back up and see how that happened. So Jeff got him by us earlier here, just a bit before this. Maybe we'll look at that. So coming out of here.
I'm sorry if I pronounced it badly.
Incident in Blanchimont.
Man,
Looks like
that was
it's
close in the
Gibson.
end.
He drops us going into the first
Congrats to all the
left-hander.
other podium contenders today, and
There's an incident
just
in
for
the
finishing the
chicane.
third,
We think it
everybody.
might be Gibson.
But now we got the draft going into this, into the chicane. I had to check up a
There's an
little bit
incident
there.
in La Source. It
It's
looks
cost
like
us a little bit of
Vogel.
time. And then just try to hit that last turn good, leaving him room on the inside in case he tried to make a lunge.
The gap in front is now 1.0.
There it is. Finished 29th. It was an interesting race.
Good battle, Samuel.
There's an incident in Eau Rouge. We think it might be Bradshaw.
Kind of challenging. But oh well, fun times. Thanks for watching.
Incident in Radiant.